Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining us for the PHNX Suns pregame show brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you know whenever we are live. I'm Lindsay Smith here with Saul Bookman and Espo. And for everyone who has been patiently waiting in the chat because the timing of this stream was wrong, yell at Jacob.
Boo, Jacob!
I blame him because he cut me off. I didn't say ahoy hoy last night, and
That's
it threw off all the mojo from the last show.
That's
He's
right.
still got Papa brain right now.
It's all Jacob's fault.
To be fair, he did tell me he did not sleep at all last night because his little one was awake all night. Yeah, what has it been, like 20 years since you dealt with that Bookman?
Four kids. 4 kids trumps all of yous. And twins to finish it off.
Well, that's rough. All right. Well, Suns basketball is back, and that's not rough. It's going to be a fun night for everyone involved.
I thought Saul was leading into a Roman read, so you can go ahead with the show. So.
No. Let's go back on. Let's stay on the rails. Let's not get off of them just yet. Tonight we've got the Suns and the Thunder. Oklahoma City. I feel like this is. Are we supposed to see them 4 times in the next 22 games?
Yep.
Like, goodness
NBA
gracious.
scheduling. It's awesome.
Look, this was a team that was playing well earlier in the year and isn't so much now. So I'll take 4 games against them now as long as they keep not playing well.
Yeah,
I mean, that's true.
Once hope goes out the window, what else do you have left to play for but pride?
Victor Wembanyama. Yeah.
That's who they're going for now.
Should we tank? Should we tank for him?
I think we should tank.
Yeah, I think
we should.
Maybe.
It only makes sense. I mean, what else are we playing for at this point, really?
Oh, yeah. A title. That's right.
Because Kevin Durant is a Phoenix Sun, but he won't play tonight. Sorry. I know. It sucks. But hopefully we'll see him Wednesday.
I don't know. He was out there warming up today, shooting, working out on court pregame. Maybe Sunday. Like we've heard, a few of the insiders say, "Oh, it's going to be Wednesday." But James Jones was non-committal. He said he's day to day. If KD wants to play, KD's playing on Sunday.
This is true
on ABC. So
yeah. I mean, I would lean towards Wednesday since that's what all the push has been. So it doesn't matter if it's Sunday or Wednesday. Actually, it kind of does matter because one of these games is not like the other one.
This is facts.
Sunday's against the Bucks, Wednesdays against the Hornets. Not exactly the same kind of 2 teams. And Giannis did play tonight. He got a little banged up, but he came out. But he might still play on Sunday.
Or he won't, and that won't be that much of an interesting game either. And ESPN picks up today's game. Sunday's on ABC, and they may just not get anything as exciting.
No
as they were hoping
superstars
for.
whatsoever except for Devin Booker. That's it. That's all you get. All right, before we dive further into Suns versus OKC, we got a couple little nuggets to talk about. First and foremost, our boy Ish Wainwright is officially back. We got a tweet from Shams Charania, and we also officially got word from the Suns today as well that the Suns have signed Ish Wainwright to a new 2-year, $2.5 million deal. His agents told The Athletic in Stadium, and the Suns told all of us. The team option, of course, on the 2023-24 season.
Look,
but this is great news for Ish.
I love our boy Shams, but can we get him an assistant? Because the dude has more typos than I do on Twitter, and I'm the king of typos. Wainwright, note extra W.
That's right.
Yeah, it's awesome to have Ish back in the fold for sure this time. And he gets an extra year too. I think that's really good. And it's well-deserved, I should say.
Yeah, vet minimum, so it's not a cap hit in any way, which is good. He will be available tonight. If they hadn't done this, he wasn't going to be available. But the best part of it was the video that the Suns put out of him actually signing the contract. He did it after he finished shooting. They warm up for the game on the stanchion. They didn't even bring him a clipboard or nothing. It was, I'm signing it. Then he kissed it and he handed it back to make it official. So that was very Ish Wainwright.
It was. I'm very happy for Ish. Also, I feel like it's not. I think, like you said, Saul, it's very well deserved. But at the end of the day, I know I've seen a lot of people on Twitter being like, but we could have gone after so-and-so or this person or that person instead. Ish deserved this, 1. And 2, he knows all of the Sun system. He knows all the plays, all the terminology. He knows his role, and he plays it well. And at the end of the day, if Ish or whomever else could have taken that role becomes the deciding factor in winning a playoff game, you're probably in pretty hot water as it is already, and you got way bigger problems to worry about.
Yeah, and I don't think that this means that they're necessarily done. You still could release somebody like a Darius Baisley if you really feel there's somebody out there that could make this team better for a championship run, and they've shown willingness to make the necessary moves. So, it would not shock me if we don't see Baisley at all tonight, if that's a move that they eventually decide to make, if there is somebody before the March 1st buyout deadline. So
I don't know if I really feel like it's really necessary at all. I don't really feel like it is. I know Derrick Rose has been floated out there. I mean, does that really do anything outside of just make the rest of the NBA feel a little bit better if the Suns won a championship? If Derrick Rose was on the roster, like,
we were going to do it in the last segment, but we're already talking about it, so let's talk about it. Derrick Rose has been rumored by Chris B. Haynes as a target of interest for the Suns. Do you think it's better for the Suns to cut somebody who is already on this roster and pick up Derrick Rose? Or are you fine with how this roster is currently built?
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I want them to find another point guard, whether it's converting, why am I blanking?
Saban
Lee, thank you. Or signing a guy like Rose. We're gonna find out, because what can Campaign do? Can he stay healthy? Is he effective? If he's not, you probably need some backup, because we've seen Chris Paul last 2 playoffs has gotten injured. You're going to need a break glass in case of emergency, because I don't like the idea of Devin Booker having to be your primary point guard at any point, even though this roster is talented enough to withstand that in a lot of ways. I'd rather have that security blanket there.
I mean, I don't think all is lost if Campaign either didn't live up to expectation or CP3 got injured, because we've seen it before, and we've seen it in the playoffs, in the Western Conference Finals. That literally happened, and Devin Booker and Campaign were good enough to get them to a certain point, and so I'm cool with that. But the biggest thing to me is, like, you do have an expendable piece in Darius Baisley, who is, you got to really want to keep him if you're going to sacrifice him for somebody that you think could actually help you. So I don't know what they think about Darius Baisley or any. There's a couple other options on that roster too. So we'll see, I guess.
Okay, so that's what I want to know. If you're in the chat and you're saying yes to Derrick Rose, who is it that you're cutting from this team? And the answer cannot be Saban Lee, because he's on a 2-way. So that one doesn't count. So if you said yes, you tell us who you're cutting then.
Well, and do you trust Landry Shamet? Because if Landry comes back, he's in that mix too. Do you really want Landry Shamet to potentially get minutes in the playoffs? I'd prefer not. I'd rather have even a Derrick Rose at a depleted skill set than Landry Shamet having to play minutes in a playoff series. This is all you're just trying to make sure you have the depth, because we saw in that finals run, when they had foul trouble and injury issues at the center position, sometimes you have to dig deep. And if you don't have a guy, you could wind up hurting yourself.
So it's basically Baisley and Shamet in the chat.
Yeah, but Shamet, that's a lot of money.
And it's also like, I don't know. I'm iffy on this one, regardless of who we're cutting to make room in the first place. But you also have to consider too, like, the amount of time, like, if you're bringing in this person or anybody, Derrick Rose or anybody, to be your backup point guard, the amount of fast turnaround in terms of getting up to speed with this squad, I feel like that's a lot of pressure. And he's a veteran, obviously, so he probably knows how to get up to speed faster than a lot of players in this league. But still, I don't know if I'm willing to tinker that much with something that I don't think moves the needle enough.
Yes.
Right? That's where, if it was somebody who I was like 100% this person would be a huge game changer off the bench for us, then I'd be like, it's one thing. But I don't know that this particular player in Derrick Rose moves the needle enough to
No, and if
mess
campaign,
around with
I mean,
that.
if campaign comes back and there's no problem, it's a luxury. It's not a need. So there's that too. But Darius Baisley ain't getting
This is
minutes
true.
in the playoffs. He's likely not getting minutes at any point unless it's a massive blowout. So there's decisions that you still could make at this point.
Mhm. Well, you mentioned campaign. Campaign is officially back. He is available for tonight's game.
About time, bro.
He has missed 21 games, you guys. 21 games. It feels like forever
Man.
since we have seen campaign out there on the court. Of course, he will be on a minutes restriction, but it's progress, right? Now the question is, what campaign do we get for the remainder of the season?
Can they just say that he's back? Why don't even tell me that they have a minutes restriction. This just sounds so stupid.
Well, especially when it's a bench guy. Bench guys tend to not
Yeah,
play.
I mean,
You wouldn't have any clue whether it was a minutes restriction or not with a bench guy. I get if it's a Devin Booker and he only plays 12 minutes by 18 minutes, whatever, and you say minutes restriction, it limits people panicking when he's not
Mhm.
playing. But
he's playing behind Chris Paul.
Yeah.
He's going to get 12 to 16 minutes anyway. Who gives a shit?
Well, it's going to be 8 to 12. So
I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to cover their butts because the last time they brought players back, they all got hurt again. Whether that was their fault or not,
Some of them were on a minutes restriction.
but they weren't very open
So what
up
does it
front about it. So
matter?
now they're at least they're creating the perception that they're being more cautious and careful.
They're full of
That's what it is
shit.
at the very least. At the very
Sorry,
least.
Sons. I don't know what to say. Stop telling me that you're going to limit guys because I don't give a shit. Just play them.
Well, we'll see him tonight.
Love you.
We will. For how many minutes? I don't know. I can't tell you, but we'll see him out there.
I'm
All
on
right.
a mental minutes restriction.
It's a
tonight,
mental
just so you know.
restriction, he said.
In addition
Well,
to
that's
campaign,
true,
let's
too.
take a look at the rest of the injury report. On the Sun side of things, Kevin Durant, of course, is out, and Landry Shamet is still out. And then on the Thunder side of things, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was questionable coming into tonight's game. He is officially out. Chet Holmgren is out as well. And then Alexei Pokusevsky.
Not gonna
also
play.
out.
There you go. You know what's so crazy about this Thunder team is if they fuck around and get Wembanyama, you forget Chet Holmgren hasn't even played this year. They have 2 lottery picks starting for the Thunder with SGA. They
Yeah.
go from like an okay team and kind of a bad team to like, oh shit, yeah, I'm watching the Thunder tonight. Like I want to watch this game.
Influx of fans will just skyrocket.
Yeah.
Well,
They'll
they're-
probably double all their social numbers. It'll be fantastic for them.
I think they're
Not for us.
I
for
think
them.
they're going to be a tough team in the West, regardless of they get Wembanyama or not. They got a lot of talent, but tonight the Suns benefit from the fact SGA being out and this team being on a back-to-back after playing a tough OT loss last night against the Jazz. I'm liking the Suns' chances. Is what I'm trying to say with that.
Oh, 100%. I mean, with SGA in the mix, obviously it brings a completely different perspective for this team
Yeah.
against the Suns because SGA is the kind of guy who I don't know that you can fully stop him. He's one of those guys in the same category where it's like you contain him, right?
Yeah.
And you don't let anybody else beat you. But with SGA not in the picture for tonight's game, I feel, and the overtime loss last night, this being the second night of a back-to-back for them, I feel like it should, in theory, knock on wood, touch metal, whatever your thing is, in theory, this should not be an incredibly hard game for the Suns to win.
This will be the Lou Dort game.
It might be. It might
ASU
be.
Almost-
favorite Lou Dort.
I almost took Lou Dort in my bet, but I hesitated.
You hesitated a little bit.
I haven't
Well,
watched enough Thunder games to feel confident in the Thunder.
Don't worry,
Bet.
nobody has.
Yeah. All right, so our starting 5 tonight is Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Josh Okogie, Torrey Craig, and DeAndre Ayton, the same that we saw prior to the All-Star break. And there's this really, really neat nugget that came from Zach Lowe in his most recent article today. And everybody on Suns Twitter is talking about it, rightfully so. So he said, holy hell, Josh Okogie, this dude is 6'4", and he's snatching 10.9% of Phoenix misses. That's 17th in the league, ahead of Anthony Davis, DeAndre Ayton, and Domantas Sabonis. Okogie is on pace to be the first player in 33 seasons listed at 6'4" or shorter to crack 10% in offensive rebounding rate.
Who was the last one?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't read that far
No,
into
I'm
the.
asking
I
if you
didn't
wanna
have
take
that
a
in the
guess.
article, but I have no idea.
Well, if we counted Charles Barkley as legit 6'4", it'd be him, but no.
Who is it?
I don't know. And Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you were
well,
just
thanks.
asking. You didn't even have the answer?
I'm going to say I was right.
Sheesh.
So there we go.
Good Lord. Well, I don't know. I have no idea. You need to find that now. Now you're going to make me really upset if you
That's
don't
what we
bring
call
an
a worm.
answer. That was
But
rude.
you know what's interesting, though, is, there were stretches where we didn't see Josh Okogie play at all either. And, with McHale being in that deal, it's opened up some minutes for him. And his stats since the trade in those 4 games since then have been unbelievable. I think it's 21 points, 5 rebounds, around 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and almost 2 assists. Like it's crazy what he's been able to do given the opportunity. And this is just another one of those stats that you go, okay, this guy has an impact. We joke, knockdown 3-point shooter and the like. But even if he's not on offensively, this guy can have a legit impact on both ends of the court in terms of those offensive rebounds, the way he plays defense. It's just more reason I want to see this guy continue to get minutes in these last 22 in the regular season and see how much, if any, of a contributor he can be in the playoffs.
I mean, I think we'll definitely see Josh Okogie in the playoffs based on what we've seen from him over the last handful of weeks with the Suns. Defensively, of course, that's like the biggest thing. But I know you said we joke about the 3-point shooting, but it has gotten exponentially better in the last 2 months or so. Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think Josh Okogie is another prime example of why a G League team will do wonders for this Sun squad, because imagine if you could have sent Josh Okogie to a G League squad that's running in the same system as the Suns for 3 weeks or a month at the beginning of the season when he really wasn't seeing any minutes out there, and what that could have done for him.
I did see up in Prescott Valley, they still have the NAZ Suns court. They were using it for high school basketball. So it could be pretty easy to flip those switches. There's lights back on up there.
There you go. Espo, what are the guys wearing tonight? What's the jersey matchup?
This is a beautiful and odd color matchup tonight. You got the City Edition turquoise for the Suns versus the City Edition black, blue, and red with the truck stop logo on it for the Thunder.
Loves truck stop. Let's go.
Yeah.
I don't hate this combination.
Well, it's nice.
From like the 2 separate jerseys. I kind of think it works really well, to be honest.
Good coordination by both teams.
Yeah. And with the court that they're gonna have down tonight, I think it's gonna look good.
Yeah, I think it'll be sharp, but there's obviously enough contrast, and I laugh every time I see that patch on the OKC uniforms. It's so Oklahoma City. It's spot on.
I mean, it's Love's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. If you drive anywhere far, Love's is the place to stop. I will give them that.
Unless
No
you're in
hate on
Texas,
Love's.
because you know how I feel about
Buc-ee's.
yes,
Yeah,
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's,
See, I've never been to a Buc-ee's, so I can't. I can't.
Maybe
say one
we'll
way
make
or
a
the other.
14-hour road trip there, Linz.
We're gonna do a show from
you
a
can
Buc-ee's this
FaceTime
summer.
me.
How about
Let's
that?
go.
How about you FaceTime?
We're gonna have to play
instead?
Dallas in the playoffs anyway. We might as well just go ahead and ride out.
Oh, we better do a Buc-ee's pregame show in Dallas. I'm in.
Can I fly instead of drive?
No.
That seems like
Saul and I will just
trek.
call in live from a Buc-ee's.
There,
How about
that works. You can show me around. You
Or
can like
maybe-
call in like Gerald does.
Maybe we'll
post-game.
just give you a ton of Benadryl so you can just sleep the whole time.
Oh,
You won't even
okay.
know we're there. Be like Weekend in Bernie's.
We'll find out.
Creepy.
All right, gentlemen, who you got tonight and by how much?
I'm going to go Suns by 11, and I'm feeling even better about that since I made the pick, finding out SGA is out.
Suns by 6. Easy.
I also have Suns by 6, and Gerald has Suns by 5. I think, Espo, if I knew SGA was out prior to submitting these picks, I would have gone a little bit higher, not only with this pick, but what I went with on my DraftKings pick of the night. But before we get into that, what do our friends over at the DraftKings Sportsbook app think about tonight's game?
Well, the currently on the graphic it's 8.5, but the line has moved with the SGA information. And what is that, Emma? Yeah, so it moved a half a point. I'm surprised it didn't move more with SGA.
All right. Sunders Dunk says Suns by 12. Charles has Suns by 14. Det has Suns by 16. And Eric has Suns by 8. So everyone is in agreement that the Suns should and will win this one tonight.
I got high hopes, baby. Let's go.
You also have a very hefty pick on the DraftKings Sportsbook app tonight. Why don't you break this down for us, Saul? Because this is a lot.
All right. Plus 1,200, baby. Alternate spread of Suns only winning by 3.5. Easy money. CP3 usually plays good off of rest. So he's had a week. Fucker better perform. I got him at 30 at a PRA. And then DA, 30 PRA. Booker, 40 PRA. And then I also, since I figured Booker was, if he's going to give me that 40 PRA, I might as well go throw some points in there. And so I got Booker over 27.5 points. And DA, if he's going to get 30, he's going to have at least 20. So I figured over 20.5, 21.5 is good to go.
I think your biggest problem here is going to be them getting up big and guys sitting. That may be your biggest opponent tonight on this one. I went with a same game parlay as well. Alternate spread, I got it at 8.5, which was what the spread wound up being a little later in the day. Devin Booker plus 30 points, DeAndre Ayton plus 12 rebounds, and I get that at a plus 675. I believe I'm bringing a cool $77 if I hit on this.
I am nothing if not a creature of habit, so I again went with what I'm calling a quote-unquote safe bet, and it is just a 2-leg same-game parlay. It's the alternative spread for the Suns at 5.5, and Devin Booker to hit 2 or more, or just 2 3-point buckets, which I know, Book, it's asking a lot considering you didn't even hit 2 in the last 2 games.
He didn't even shoot 2.
I think he only
didn't even
needs
shoot one of those games.
I'm pretty sure I have to double check this because I forgot at this point in time. And we have a graphic that's just sitting and waiting because we never expected Devin to not hit 2 threes prior to the All-Star break. But I think he's either 1 or 2 away from passing Steve Nash.
I think it's 1 at this point.
For first overall on the Suns all-time leaderboard.
I'm going to say this to you. You call these easy bets or safe bets. I'm going to refer to them as Smiths. The most generic thing that you can have, a Smith.
Well, I'm living up to my name.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It is what it is. But
I feel pretty good that if Espo hits his bet, that probably means I'm going to hit
you'll
my
be
bet.
pretty close.
Which means you and I'd be ahead of Lindsay.
I hope that both of you
Lindsay.
lose your bets and that I do hit my bet. But what is the leaderboard looking like? I know we all know Saul's at the top, but what does it actually look like? All right, Saul's got $194.13. I have $155.54, and Espo has $134. I really hope you don't hit your bet tonight, Saul, because that's like what, a plus 100 and some odd change?
Yeah, keep smithing it there, Lindsay.
Well,
nobody's cracked 200 yet, right?
Slow and steady wins the race. Isn't that what the book says? Isn't that what the book says?
But logistically, if I get up to a certain point, same thing with you guys. If you guys ever pass me, if you guys get up to a certain point,
it's kind of hard.
Every bet you make, you're only losing $10. So it's going to be hard to catch up unless the people behind you actually make some risky bets.
Yeah, you have to take big swings if at that point. Submerged Suns fan, one of our newest diehard members.
Hi.
Give you a shout out there in the chat. Super Dario's back tonight. They'll give him his video and that'll be that.
I can't wait to see this
as long as it's not his revenge game.
Before we talk about Super Dario, I do have to read an ad real quick for you guys. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Sign up with that promo code PHNX. Then you can take the bets that we took tonight on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And right now, if you use that promo code and you're a new customer, you can bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Again, with code PHNX. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
I love that you just gave me the Matumbo. No.
Just 1 second. Just 1 second. But no, it was really cute. Did you guys see Gerald posted on Twitter a video of Dario going up to the Suns bench and giving big hugs to the players that were over there and the coaching staff? It was cute. It was precious.
It's been 10 days.
I miss you so much. Everything we love about Dario, though. Everything.
I don't follow Gerald on Twitter.
You unfollowed him? Did you block him?
I muted him. I only go to him when I know he has something else to say besides, I love the homie. I miss Mikhail.
Saul's muted the words Mikhail Bridges, Cam Johnson, and Dario Saric.
Because I can't feel emotions when I'm trying to concentrate on my team winning a championship. Maybe it'll hit home that Mikhail Bridges is gone in the summer. But right now, I just can't acknowledge it.
So I'll let you hug the Larry O'Brien, and you won't have to worry about who's missing this.
I mean, you know
will
what?
make me
Saw
feel better.
Espo's burner in the chat with the super chat has a really good idea. Says Espo is humble considering everything he brings to the table. Saul, just hug him, bro. He earned it. Espo's back must be hurting from carrying the show. In addition to that, Espo can also give you a hug to help you work through your emotions of Mikkel and Dario and Cam that you're clearly pushing off to deal with later.
I want to feel happy. I don't want to feel mad.
Saul, can you give me my $4.99 back for this after the show?
Yeah, you owe Espo $4.99.
There's another super chat. I don't know if we are aware of this.
Well, we were worried about Espo's burner super chat first. Now we'll talk about Boo Boo's super chat. Thank you, Boo Boo, for your super chat. We appreciate it. Says, I'm fairly new to your channel and really enjoy your show and opinions. Let's get that W tonight and with no sweat, please. Cheers.
Thanks
emoji.
for being here, Boo Boo.
Yes.
Boo Boo's brother.
Boo Boo's brother.
Boo Boo, if you're there with your brother, thanks for watching as well.
Yeah, we appreciate both of you. But welcome. We're glad to have you here. The chat's usually super nice until other fan bases jump in. And then it's fair game. You guys can do whatever you want within reason.
Yes.
Within reason. There's a little bit of a disclaimer there. But are we worried about Dario tonight? Do we think this is a campaign revenge game? I know they're throwing both of them out there. We're clearly in the mix of getting so many revenge games this weekend, whether it's campaign or Dario or Jay Crowder. It's just being tossed around. Some ask the question.
Are they going to put a trampoline out there for Dario?
She said, and I quote, are we worried about Dario today?
You know,
and said that shit with a straight face.
You know how oftentimes, regardless of the ability or level of the players when they play their former team, they play up a little bit.
You want to make a bet tonight?
I do not.
Okay, if he plays up a little bit, he's going to have 10 points. All right.
Brittany gets it. Is this a trap game where Dario tells his new team all our plays? Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
By the way, for those of you wondering about our exes, the Bulls lead the Brooklyn Nets 103-60 right now.
Damn. How many does Mikhail have?
Mikhail has 13 on 4 of 10 shooting, and our friend Cam Johnson has 10 on 4 of 13 shooting.
He's brutal.
Damn.
It was 63-29 at the half. Just so you know.
Jose in the chat said, if Dario kicks our booty, we deserve it. That's facts. You're not wrong. Oh my goodness gracious.
Dario's going to drop 40 tonight.
I hope he does.
All on late.
I hope he does.
If Dario drops 40, all three of us should jump in the little creek right outside.
I think you two, I think you should, because you're the one who gives Dario the most slander on
Only
this program.
if he doesn't, you do.
No.
I'll do Mr. Mackey all post game show.
Bro, do you hear me? I'm still coughing. I still have illnesses in my body. The last thing I need is to jump in a cold body of water at a cold night to get even more sick.
Okay.
Whatever. It's still water.
Let the waters
cold.
of Lake Ikitanka.
Plus, you know what's in that? You know what's in that? I'm gonna get double sick.
I'm guessing urine.
I don't know. It's such a massive body of water. I haven't been able to dissect what it is.
Hey, for Arizona, that is a pretty large body of standing water.
It is. This is a desert, sir and ma'am. Gosh, you two.
Everybody comes, when they come to downtown Phoenix, they come to visit the giant lake in Arizona Center.
Exactly.
The eighth wonder of the world.
You get it. You understand. All right, let's go watch some Suns basketball. It's been long enough. Our wait is finally over.
Yay.
We are in the home stretch here, and hopefully leading us into a very long playoff run. But enjoy the game, everybody, and don't forget to meet us right back here after it wraps up. Bye.
PHNX. Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX.